What is up? It is House of Chillin'. We are back for season 5 of the Wild Shuffle Sim. Before we get started here, I do have to apologize. It has been a while since I've posted one of these, so I'm going to try to get back to being a bit more consistent. I'm going to try to get a bunch of them done in the next couple days so that we can get right back on here. But before we start, as always, here's the DVD cover just dropping for Survivor Season 4, The Marquesas. We got Cody, Jesse, Michelle, Dan, Tevin, and Sabaya. This was the closest I've ever gotten to so far. I mean, it's only been 4 seasons, but to not including the winner on the DVD cover just because I didn't think Jesse was a big character at all, and I thought Chelsea would have been a more appropriate choice here. So I almost did that, but then I decided to keep the winner. Now, for those historians of the real Survivor universe, I ask you, has there ever been a winner who is not on the cover? And if that's the case, let me know, and maybe we can do that in the future. Also, I didn't crop this properly, so it doesn't look the best it has, but I hope you still enjoy it. Okay, let's get to the cast for Season 5. Now, we'll break down everybody. I'm sure you're excited getting the first look at the cast here. The only thing I will say is, in the real Survivor Thailand, they had 2 captains based on the 2 oldest players, and those 2 were the ones who drafted the tribes. I didn't want to go look up everyone's age here and then be ageist because there's no 2 that really stand out as the oldest here. I mean, maybe Lindsay and Abraham, but with that being said, I did not put them as the oldest. So whoever the team captains are just random, or shall we say, just wild shuffle. And I think that's appropriate based on the way we do this game anyway. So let's break down the cast. We got Sierra Easton, one of the sort of big characters of the 20s of Survivor. Sierra Easton, known for being sort of a big move player, right? Maybe not the best strategically, maybe not the best socially, but somebody who's going to play an aggressive strategic game. And she's not horrible socially. I feel like she has her people who will ride with her, and then she has her people who are against her, but she's willing to make big moves. That was kind of her quoted thing that Jeff Probst loved. Then we got Derek Frazier. He was on, I believe it was Big Brother 21, 22, one of those ones. Sort of known for just being a highly emotional player, somebody that ended up being sort of the one that everyone wanted to take to the end because he was kind of a goat. So not really great strategically, but good socially, like able to get into those big alliances, but maybe not savvy enough to ever get a win here, but we'll see. Then we got Elizabeth Scott. I believe she goes by Ellie. She was on definitely the new era of Survivor. I believe her thing was she's a therapist, so her thing was that she could sort of know how to work with people because of that. I think she did pretty well, but again, I think similar to Sierra, sort of overplayed early, had good social connections, but then overplayed and made an aggressive move that sort of backfired on her, something like that. I can't remember exactly, but I know she's somebody who's good socially, pretty good strategically, but could be overly aggressive. And I think that's going to be a common theme for a lot of these players where they could be decent players, and if they get the right sort of setup, they could be, but also players who like to play aggressively. Next, we have Eric Abraham. I believe he just goes by Abraham. He's the first boot, so we didn't get a ton of information on him, but from what we saw, I think he's kind of the type who just wants to play a more traditional game, sort of that leadership game, just like be the leader of the tribe and bring a majority alliance to the end without backstabbing or anything like that. If that's going to work, this is the era that would work. I'm not super high on it, but I'm not super low on that game either. I think he's somebody who could go far based solely on the fact that he is good around camp, probably above average in the challenges, and somebody who is going to be loyal. Then we got Jani Christian Ja. Not sure how to pronounce that, but she goes by J Maya. We're going to call her J Maya. J Maya is somebody who I think is sort of pretty good at everything. It's just sort of what I'd call like an above average Survivor player. Pretty good socially, pretty good strategically. I think her biggest fault or downside thing is going to be the fact that she sort of works from the background, right? Somebody who can be making those good moves, but might not necessarily be somebody who you can attribute those moves to. So I think unless she's willing to than we saw in her real life game, she could be somebody who doesn't get the credit. And then my concern is she is so good I think, socially and strategically, if she wants to be. That if she does start to play a little bit more aggressively, I think people could clock her. So I think it's going to be a hard road for J Maya, but I'm interested to see her play. Then we got the only Big Brother US winner that we have here, and that is Josh Martinez. Josh Martinez is a train wreck. He is not a good player at any of these games. He did win a season, so you might be saying, but he did win. Yes, he did. He was taken to the end as a GOAT by such a hated player that he was able to use the diary cards to sort of manipulate the jury to vote for him, and it was sort of not wanting to vote for Paul a lot more than wanting to vote for Josh Martinez. Not sure if Josh Martinez is somebody who's long for this game, sort of similar to what we said about other players in previous seasons. But I think while he's here, he's going to be entertaining, definitely going to get in lots of fights, definitely going to bring the drama. And then we got somebody who's probably going to do the exact opposite in Judd. Judd was a totally average player, somebody who I think can make good social connections, not going to be very good strategically, but absolutely somebody who could get in a good alliance and go far. I just don't know if he's ever going to create enough equity in the game where he's going to be able to win. Then we got Ken Stafford. I think this is the first time where we actually have somebody who was on that real season, wild shuffled into the season. Ken Stafford did play in Survivor Thailand. He was a firefighter. I believe he was a firefighter in 9/11 or a New York firefighter at the very least. Somebody who I think is just sort of good everywhere, right? Really good physically, so good at the challenges, really good socially, very likable guy. Maybe not the best strategic game in the world. I don't think he is going to be a strategic mastermind in any sense, but I don't think he's horrible strategically. So I think he's somebody who could stay around long enough strategically, and somebody who, if he gets to the end, absolutely people are not going to be bitter with him because he's a very likable guy. Next, we got Kevin Martin. Kevin Martin's from Big Brother Canada. He actually did win a season, so he's another winner here. He's somebody who won the game his second time around literally by studying all the challenges and then being able to gamify the system and win out, although everyone was trying to target him. He, similar to Sierra Easton for me, is somebody who he's going to have people who are ride or dies with him and they're going to go to the end with him, but he's also going to have people who hate him and people who just want him out the whole time. We saw that in the Traders Canada as well, and he's a little bit like car salesy. Ironic due to this season because the real winner of Survivor Thailand was a car salesman. But what I mean when I say he's kind of car salesman-y is he's like charming and gets along socially with people, but it seems a little bit salesman-y and it seems a little bit slimy at times. So I think he's absolutely somebody who could do really well in this game if the cast buys what he's selling. But if the cast is like, we don't like this guy, he could go out very early. So I think there's high upside, but very... like he could be the first boot and he could be the winner. So very interesting to see how this goes here. Then we have Kyle Rosendale. He's also from Big Brother Canada. I believe he was on the season of that got canceled due to COVID. From what I've seen about him, he was a very aggressive player strategically, trying to make big moves, trying to sort of have that HOH-itis, like the game starts and I'm trying to make big moves, good in challenges and stuff like that. So something we're seeing in common with a bunch of these players is I think he could be good, but he's also going to come out very aggressive. So far, we've seen Sierra, Ellie, Kevin, Kyle, as people who are absolutely going to play very aggressively, very early. That's just their game style. So it could work if one of them is able to get to the end. They're absolutely going to be a great winner. But if they come across so aggressive so early, they're going to make themselves early targets. So maybe there's enough because I think there's at least two more people who play that similar way that we'll talk about as well. So maybe there's enough of them where they can get together and work together, but I guess it just depends on the tribe breakdown. Now we have somebody who's sort of the opposite strategy to that. That's Lindsay Carmine, sort of somebody who's good socially, able to get into alliances and stuff like that, but not going to ever be making the aggressive moves. Sort of a safe player. So absolutely, I think she's going to be able to get in alliances and last long in this game. Is she going to be able to create enough agency for herself to win the game? I don't know. Then we have Mary. Mary was on the original Fans vs. Favorites on the Fans Tribe. Not too much that we got to see about her. She was in a showmance, sort of got along well enough with most people. So I think there's not a whole lot to expect here, but she absolutely could get in a good alliance. Maybe somebody like Kevin or Josh Martinez. There are two guys who are typically in a lot of showmances. Maybe if she can cozy up to them, she can be long for this game. Then we have Memphis Garrett. I think Memphis is a little bit overrated, if I'm being honest. In his first game of Big Brother, he went to the end with probably the greatest player in Big Brother history, Dan Giesling. And people always kind of were like, similar to what happened with Cody and Derek in their season, they're kind of like, oh, this is actually two really good players, and Memphis deserves a lot more credit. When I saw Memphis in the Big Brother All-Star season, I really didn't think he was actually very good at the game. Sort of a bit more of a meathead who people were giving a lot of strategic capital to. However, he's good at the challenges, and he's going to be fairly good socially. He tends to get along well with people. So I think he's somebody who's probably going to go far in most seasons, and if he's in the end, could absolutely win. Then we have RC Saint-Amour. She is somebody who is going to play strategically, but very aggressive, right? She's another one of these people that we're saying is going to be a very aggressive player. If you're with her, she is ride or die for you. But if you're against her, like Abby Maria, she's going to go for you. She cannot stand people that she does not like. She does not have a tolerance for that. So she's going to be fun, but is she going to be able to last the whole game like that while creating all these enemies? Is she going to be able to get to the end? And if she does, it's probably a super fun game where she's just taking people out left and right. Then we have Rachel Folger. Interesting enough, we get Tyson's wife before him, so when Tyson does come across in this universe, we'll be able to say he was a spouse of a former contestant. Rachel, from what we did see of her, seemed to get along well enough socially, kind of got screwed by that big male alliance that ended up going after the women. But yeah, I think she's a totally decent player. I didn't see anything from her that makes me think, oh, she's going to be the greatest player of all time. But I don't see anything that makes me think she's going to be bad at the game either. And finally, we got Venus. Venus is the last person who I really think plays that sort of game where she's very strategic. She has all the abilities, but could sort of get caught up in this us versus them because a lot of people are either super in on Venus or super not. We saw it in Traders Canada as well. She has the strategic acumen, and maybe she's not as aggressive right away as these other players. Like, she wants to make those moves, but I think in the Trader she showed she has the ability to kind of lie back, at least for a little bit. But is she going to be able to do that here? I think of those aggressive players, she definitely has the most ability to kind of lie low, at least for a little bit. But we'll see if she's able to do that in this game. So now for my winner pick. With all these super strategic, aggressive players, those are kind of the type of people I really like to pick. But I'm 0-4 so far with my winner picks, so I'm going to go off the board. Somebody that I typically wouldn't pick, I'm going to pick Ken Stafford. I just think he's an above-average player in sort of all parts of the game. Maybe not strategically, but I don't think he has to be super strategic because there's going to be all these really strategic players. I think he's somebody that, if he's sitting at the end with one of them, could get those votes just because they don't like the other players, but also somebody who I think most of the time is going to go pretty far in a game like this. Let's go and see. So we get to start with these try picks. Okay, so RC and Kyle get randomly selected as the team captains. RC picks Kevin first. I love that. Those two, if they're like in a ride or die together, that's super fun. Kyle picks J Maya. Oh, RC picks Venus. So RC's choosing violence. She is picking those real aggressive players right off the bat. Kyle picks Memphis. So it seems like Kyle's strategy is much more pick the chill players, while RC wants to pick the sort of more chaotic players. Oh, speaking of which, RC picks Josh. So RC is really like, let's go, let's pick the most chaotic players and see how this absolute mess of a tribe goes. And Kyle, again, picking somebody who's very much more chill. Oh, RC picks Sierra. So yeah, I love this. This is going to be a crazy tribe, the RC tribe. And then Kyle's choosing Abraham. RC picks Ken. Okay, so Ken's on this sort of chaotic tribe. Kyle chooses Ellie. So Ellie's, if we switch those two, I think everything would be chaotic verse. I think Ken's going to be able to be that sort of chill person on that chaotic tribe, and Ellie's going to be a more chaotic person, but we have to remember Kyle's chaotic as well. RC chooses Mary, Kyle chooses Derek, RC chooses Judd, so now she's starting to pick a little bit more calm players, And Kyle chooses Lindsay. So let's take a look at these tribes. Okay, Chuigon and Sukjai. I think they're pretty evenly matched in terms of like challenge abilities. And what's going to be interesting too is I believe this is the season where they do a fake merge. So there's a super long pre-merge game in this season. So if these I don't know if there's a tribe swap before that or not, but if not, these tribes are going to really be here for a while. So very interesting to see. I kind of think Sukjai could be the better tribe here just because they have less chaos. I think Chuigon could have a lot of fighting and stuff like that. But that's even better for our winner pick Ken because I think he can just kind of stay under the radar, be winning the challenges, or like helping out in the challenges and be very likable. So let's go to this first episode. Chuigon, no alliances. Sukjai, no alliances. Okay, so yeah, like I kind of thought, this more calm tribe wins the immunity. So we're going to see Chuigon go to the first tribal. Kevin has a major meltdown. Josh has a major meltdown. Josh has a second major meltdown. So everybody's just freaking out on this chaotic tribe. Kevin gets injured but treated and can stay in the game. Okay, so a lot going on Chuigon. Sukjai, Lindsay and Rachel have a small fight. So two people that were kind of picked for being chill end up getting in a fight here at Sukjai. That's interesting. And then we have Tribal Council. So the only thing we've seen is the 2 breakdowns. You have to think with Josh Martinez having 2 breakdowns and no alliances, he's going to be an easy vote here. But let's see what happens. First vote, Ken. Uh-oh. That's weird. I don't have any reason why they would vote Ken, but maybe that's just Josh's vote. Next vote, Mary. Okay, maybe they take out Mary. Maybe not one of the stronger people in the challenges. Next vote, Ken. Uh-oh. Okay, 2 votes Ken, 1 vote Mary. 3, what? 3 votes Ken, 1 vote Mary. Okay, 3 votes Ken, 2 votes Mary. 3-3, okay, 3 Ken, 3 Mary. 4th person, okay, 4th vote Ken, so Ken, wow, okay. So I tried a different strategy for the winner pick here, and that blew up in my face. I have no idea why they would vote out Ken. Is it like one of these things is not like the others, like they think he's too chill? I don't know what happened here. So let's take a look. So Sierra, Josh, and Ken presumably voted Mary. And then Judd, Kevin, Mary, RC, and Venus all vote Ken. So I don't know if there's an alliance there. I don't know really why Ken would be targeted here, but that's interesting. I guess in the chaotic tribe, somebody who's not chaotic like that, so somebody like Judd might be in trouble, or Mary, because they're probably the least chaotic on this tribe. Okay, that was really interesting. Okay, let's go to episode 2. No alliances on Chuigon. No alliances on Sukjai. Chuigon wins reward. Sukjai wins immunity. So again, this could be a fairly dominant tribe. Sierra and RC have a small fight. And then Sierra and Venus bond strongly. So we're getting some of that chaos on this tribe. Kyle's impressing the rest of the team. Lindsay's impressing the rest of the team. Ellie and Abraham find something in common. It has a lasting impact. Okay, and now we get a sort of a first initial alliance here. That's interesting. So who do we got in this alliance? We got Derek Fraser. We got Ellie Scott. We got Kyle Rosendale, Lindsay, and Memphis. Okay, so this is 5-person, so they're going to have the majority on this alliance. So let's see if these people will run the game if their tribe does end up going. And with their tribe not going, if they're able to stay in it, this could be kind of the 5 people who run this game. Okay, now these guys are going to travel again. We haven't really seen too much here. We saw a small fight between these two, so maybe Sierra or RC's targeted here, but we'll find out. Judd gets the first vote. Okay, so are they just voting out the calm people? Mary gets, so these are probably the 2 calmest people in the tribe, and they're getting the votes. Mary, 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 Judd, 3-2, Mary. Okay, so last time why couldn't they have just voted out Mary in the first vote and kept our boy Ken? I don't know. Let's see. So, okay, so Kevin was the only person who voted with Mary. It's funny because in the pregame I said maybe those 2 get in a showmance and work together. Maybe that was starting to form here, and people were kind of threatened by that, worried about that. Kevin stuck with Mary in the vote. Does that put a target on Kevin now as the only one who voted Judd out? Potentially. Okay. Let's get to episode 3. And if Chuigon keeps losing, all our chaotic kings and queens are going to be out pretty quick here. And they're not making any alliances because they're just unwilling to work together. They just want chaos. Okay, this alliance is sort of the majority alliance right now. Chuigon wins reward. Chuigon wins immunity. Okay, so this is going to be now interesting. We get to keep all 6 of them in the game. And now let's see what happens at with the Sukjai vote. Okay, Kevin and RC have a small fight. Judd and RC find something in common. And now we get a majority alliance here. Okay, so it seems like... So Sierra, RC, and Venus are aligning with Judd. See, and this is what I think is good about Judd. He's very non-confrontational, right? So these women, they're all big personalities. They need another alliance member. They're taking Judd in here. So lucky this tribe's not going to tribal council for Kevin because he's starting fights with one of the people from the alliance. This could be a very fun alliance. Okay, so Sukjai. So Ellie and Abraham find something in common. I believe that happened last time too. Ellie and J. Maya bond slightly. So Ellie seems to be putting that therapist game to work. She's starting to make these social bonds, and that's something that could be impactful here. We've seen some of our better winners here who do that. They just consistently work in the social game. Julia Carter was definitely doing that. And I think when I'm saying some of our winners, some of the people who I thought were going to win were doing that, and then they get picked off. Kyle and Lindsay have a small fight. So Lindsay is getting in a lot of fights for somebody who I thought was just very agreeable. Okay, now we get a second alliance here. So J. Maya, Kyle, Memphis, and Rachel are in an alliance. So I believe Kyle and Memphis are in both alliances now, so they kind of have say of the game, and now Rachel and J. Maya are in alliance with this as well. I think, okay, let's just take a look at the whole tribe here now. I think Abraham might be the only one who's not in either of the alliances. And if that's the case, he's probably going to be the one to target because then Kyle and Memphis don't get any blood on their hands. Both alliances still think they're good with them. So let's see. Yeah, Abraham gets the first vote. Rachel gets the second vote. Rachel gets the third vote. Abraham, so it's 2-2. 3-2 Abraham. 4-2 Abraham. 5. That's enough. Okay, so, or 6, that's enough. So yeah, like we thought here, looks like Ellie voted with Abraham. That makes sense because they've been bonding a lot. I don't think her alliance will hold that against her because she's clearly been bonding a lot with Abraham. And then everybody else votes Abraham out, leaving Kyle and Memphis in both alliances aligned with everybody in the tribe and with no blood on their hand because both groups would think they worked with them. Okay, so now we're in episode 4. This alliance is the only alliance on Chuigon. So yeah, there's the 2 alliances here with Memphis and Kyle in both. Chuigon wins reward. Chuigon wins immunity. So now Chuigon's going on a run. And after 4 episodes, we're going to be tied up with 6 people on each tribe. That's fun. So Judd and Venus bond slightly. Josh and RC have a small fight. Looks like Venus is leaving this alliance. That's weird because she's bonding with Judd, so she still seems to be good with at least Judd in this alliance, but she's leaving this alliance. Does that mean now the Venus is going to get voted out because she's leaving the alliance when this tribe's going to tribal? We'll have to see. No, this tribe is not going to tribal. This is Chuigon. So, okay, so she's leaving the alliance, but she's going to be safe for now. Lindsay and Memphis have a minor disagreement. Ellie and Memphis find something in common. See, she's working that therapist game again. And now they're bonding strongly. So Ellie is putting in that social game. Now Ellie just forms a one-on-one alliance with some... Wow. Like, this social game is really good. Like, we never even see her bonding with J. Maya. And look at the loyalty. 7 and 8. So she forms a super strong duo with J. Maya. That's really interesting. And J. Maya is somebody good to form that alliance with because, like we said in the pregame, I don't think she's going to get credit, but she's going to be a super helpful person to work with. So being able to make those strategic moves, but Ellie's probably going to get more of the credit for them. Okay, but now we have this very interesting tribal council where Sukjai's here. Kyle and Memphis are going to have to choose between their alliances to see where they want to vote. Okay, first vote Derek. Next vote Rachel. Next vote Rachel. Rachel. Okay, so Rachel gets all the votes here. Rachel was in one of those alliances, right? Let me just go back for a second here. Yeah, Rachel was. So even though, what is the loyalty here? Oh, yeah, so they're the same loyalty to each. So they decide to take out Rachel and sort of sticking with this one, it would seem. Sorry for going back there. And now let's see the vote. So everybody voted Rachel except Rachel voted Derek. Nice clean vote. And now we're at 6-6, and it says there's a twist. So maybe this is a tribe swap. Castaways are given the opportunity to mutiny to the other tribe. Josh mutinies from Chewigon to Sukjag tribe. No one mutinies from Sukjag. Okay, so Josh Martinez has feeling like he's not getting enough camera time, not chaotic enough. So as soon as they say this, he jumps to the other tribe. I mean, we haven't really seen him bonding too much with his tribe, so maybe that makes sense. Maybe he felt he was on the bottom, but little does he know, I feel like Sukjai's pretty tight, and this could give Memphis and Kyle a new target that they can vote out that doesn't mess up any of their other alliances. So I don't think this is a great move here for Josh, but it's a very Josh-type move. Yeah, so here we see Josh on his new tribe. This alliance of 3 is now the only Chewigon alliance with Venus leaving that alliance. We got a bunch of alliances here, right? So we have this alliance as well. So now J Maya's in alliance with these two and with Ellie. So she's kind of putting herself in there with the power players, which I really like for J Maya, except for the fact that if she goes to end with any of them, they're probably going to be seen as the better players, even though that might not be the case. So loving the J Maya game, but it reminds me a lot of the J Maya game where she might not be getting the credit that she deserves. Okay, so now we have a Survivor auction, team auction. Okay, I don't like that. Chewigon wins a hamburger with toppings and fries. A single one? Sukjai wins a picture of lemonade. Sukjai wins a covered item, baked grubs. Sukjai wins... So wouldn't they... Because look, Sukjai's just winning everything. They win the spaghetti and meatballs. They win the hot fudge sundaes. They're winning... So, I mean, you would think they have the same amount of money. I don't know what the other Chewigon tribe was doing because Sukjai just went crazy and won them all. Is that going to give them a lot of fuel for this, or are they going to be tired? Let's see. So yeah, Chewigon did the smart move. They didn't bid on all this stuff at the auction so that they're not tired down. The other tribe was full and tired and lost. Okay, Sierra and RC bond slightly. Sierra and Venus find something in common. Sierra and Judd bond strongly. So Sierra is just putting in that social game, realizing that on this smaller tribe, she wants to make sure she's good. So she's really putting in some good social work here. Lindsay has a major meltdown. Interesting. Derek and Josh have a small fight. Ellie and J Maya bond slightly. I mean, they're already a super strong duo, but again, love seeing Ellie putting in that work to just really work that social game. I mean, unless this meltdown was so big that everyone's annoyed with her, you have to think it's Josh Martinez here. That keeps everybody kind of without blood on their hands, and he did it to himself. First vote, Josh. Lindsay, Josh. I'm assuming it's all Josh, yeah. So yeah, Josh just made a boneheaded move, but I mean, par for the course. Like, he's somebody who probably doesn't get considered such a horrible player because he bumbled his way to a Big Brother win when somebody dragged him to the end. But Josh is, like, this is very on brand for Josh, just like doing dumb things for camera time. So I can absolutely see this happening. Josh goes home, but Josh for second chances or something, absolutely, because he's always going to be a fun character while he lasts. Okay, so these are our tribes. We got this alliance. None of these alliances have changed. These two have gotten stronger, I believe. I think it was an 8 and a 7 before. Chewigon wins reward. Chewigon's been dominating as of recently. Chewigon wins immunity again, so Sukjai is now going to have to pick off one of their own again. They got that little break where they got to vote out Josh, but now they're going to have to figure out what to do. RC is impressing the rest of the tribe twice. Wow, she's really impressing the rest of the tribe. Ellie's impressing the rest of the tribe, of course, because she's just working that social game, making everybody like her. Derek and Lindsay have a small fight. Okay, so, yeah, I don't know what the vote's going to be here. It's kind of going to depend on where Kyle and Memphis are the most loyal. Ellie's not in that big alliance with J Maya, but she's close with J Maya too, so maybe those 4 are kind of the decision makers here, but J Maya's getting the first vote, so let's see. First vote, J Maya. Next vote, Lindsay. That would make sense, right? Lindsay or Derek getting taken out here. Lindsay, J Maya, Lindsay, Lindsay, Lindsay. That makes sense, right? She's not sort of in. She's in an alliance, but not in with any of those big players. Also, she had that breakdown last episode, so I think that's kind of what got her going here. Derek, not a good move for him. He's the one who voted with her for J Maya. He already sort of seemingly on the outs despite being in an alliance, so Derek's probably in trouble if they go back to Tribal Council because everybody else votes Lindsay. And it does seem, like I said, that the sort of two duos have teamed up here. The J Maya Ellie duo and the Memphis Kyle duo have all formed a voting for. Not officially in an alliance, but they definitely work together for that one. And you would think if they go to Tribal again, they're going to vote out Derek. Here's the twist. I believe this is going to be a fake merge. The castaways are told they're going to live on one beach. They assume they have merged. This is actually a fake merge. Okay, so they're all living on the same beach. So now we're getting this fake merge. So we have all the alliances on here. Sukjai wins. Okay, so Sukjai wins immunity. Interesting. Now we get to finally see Chuigam go back to a tribal. Sierra and RC bond strongly. J Maya and Judd find something in common. So the thing is, now they're all on the same beach, so we can see people like forming. Because I don't think J Maya and Judd are not in the same tribe, but they're able to bond here. Derek has a major meltdown. Interesting. Because if his tribe was going, he was probably out. His tribe won, but he's still having a meltdown. Okay, so what's going to happen here? I would think it's Kevin Martin because... so Venus left that alliance. So it could be Venus because they're mad at Venus for leaving the alliance. But if she still has a working relationship with those people, then it would have to be Kevin Martin because he hasn't shown any sort of alliances or bonding with any of these people. First vote is Judd, though. Next vote is Judd. Next vote's Kevin Martin. Kevin Martin. Kevin Martin. Okay, so a 3-2 vote. Interesting. So I'm guessing Venus voted with Kevin? Yeah, so Venus left the alliance to go work with Kevin. They both try to take Judd out, but that alliance keeps Judd in the game, and that 3-person alliance takes out Kevin Martin. So now Venus is seemingly really in trouble on this tribe because these 3 are in an alliance. So we're still in the fake merge, it looks like. So we're going to get real low in numbers before we actually get to the merge. Sukjai wins again. Ellie and Venus bond strongly. So see, now Ellie is bonding with people from the other tribe. Now, it does look like Venus is probably going to go home here, but Ellie is putting in that work so that if they do merge, she's already going to have bonds with other people. RC and Memphis have a major fight. Interesting. That's kind of fun. So now we got to assume Venus is going home here because these 3 aren't in line. So first vote Venus. Next vote Judd. That's probably Venus's vote. Next vote Venus. Next vote, Judd. Oh, okay. So somebody went against the alliance and voted with Venus to tie this vote up. Interesting. So it's 2-2. So time for a revote. First vote, Judd. Next vote, Judd. Wow. So the girls turned on Judd. So let's see what happened here. So RC... Okay, so Sierra and Venus had bonded, right? We'd seen them kind of never in an alliance, or they were in the alliance. Venus left the alliance, but maybe that was because of Judd, because she wants Judd out in the last 2 tribals. Sierra still votes with her, and then RC realizes Sierra's voting with her and flips on Judd to keep that those 3 women together. So despite the fact that they're not in an official alliance, you gotta think these 3 are going to work together. Now we finally get a merge, though, and unless these 3 can work some magic, you're going to think they're going to get picked off by these 5 here. Real entertaining people still left in the game here, though. Really excited for this whole tribe. Ellie's been playing a great game. J Maya's been playing a really fun game. These 2 have been a really fun duo. The only person, I'll say it right now, the only person I would be super upset with winning the game would be Derek, just because he hasn't really done anything, but have meltdowns and stuff. So hopefully he's not our winner here. If not, I think this could be a really fun post-merge, even though it's going to be a little smaller. And I think the favorite has to be Ellie at this point because she's putting in that work, but socially. But Kyle might be being a bit more aggressive, so he might be getting seen more, but I don't know because Ellie's making those bonds with the people who are going to the jury. Here's our Chui Jai tribe. They combine the names. I love it. Okay, so all the alliances are still the same. RC wins reward, gets a loved ones video. Maybe it's from her dad. She was supposed to be on the Blood vs. Water season with her dad, and I think her dad couldn't pass the medical. Venus wins immunity. Okay, that's big for Venus here, but it's probably trouble for RC and Sierra, who are the other two women, women from that tribe. Sierra and Ellie bond strongly, so Sierra, who's on the other tribe, see, Ellie is putting in that work. She's impressing the rest of the entire tribe, and now Sierra is bonding with her. Now, is she going to try to save Sierra because she's making bonds with her? She also has bond strongly with Venus before, so are they going to maybe try to target RC? We'll see. RC and Venus bonds slightly. Okay, Venus has the immunity necklace, so you got to think it's either RC or Sierra. Maybe Ellie tries to save Sierra here. We'll see. Let's read the votes. First vote, RC. Next vote, RC. Next vote, Derek. Next vote, RC. Next vote, Derek. Derek. RC. RC. Okay, so interesting. RC does go home, but somebody... Wait, what was the vote? Oh, 3. Okay, yeah. So those 3 women from the original Chuigon tribe all voted for Derek, and then everybody else voted RC. But interesting that Sierra and Ellie bonding probably is what saved Sierra here. And Sierra probably had enough control over the vote to say, hey, let's go for RC here. Nobody was going to object to that. And then, yeah, Derek gets all the votes from the 3 women there. Okay, episode 10 here. All the alliances are the same. Sierra wins reward. She takes Venus. So although these two are not in an alliance officially, they're the last 2 Chuigon. We've seen them bonding. They do have an informal alliance. Derek wins immunity. Uh-oh, if this guy wins, I'm going to be so upset. Okay, Sierra and Memphis find something in common. Derek and Ellie bond slightly. So again, Ellie's putting in that work, just being the therapist here, bonding with everybody. I love it. But Sierra's doing good too. Still making connections with this other tribe, trying to keep herself safe. Venus could be in trouble here because I think Sierra's doing the work to make them not want to vote her off. Derek has the immunity. Okay, first vote Memphis. Next vote Venus. Next vote Kaya. Okay, so I don't know what's happening here, but the sort of 2 figureheads of the Sukjai have gotten votes. Venus, Venus, Venus. Okay. So, okay, it was not as exciting as I thought because I think everybody... Yeah, let's see what happened here. So, right, Sierra was not going to vote Venus, so she voted Memphis, and then they didn't even collaborate to vote together. They just threw 1 vote on each of those guys, probably saying, hey, let's try to expose these 2 as running this game so far. And Ellie's done a good enough job with bonding with both of them where they wouldn't throw her under the bus. So we're down to the Sukjais and Sierra. Sierra's been really doing good to kind of bond with these people, get herself ingrained with them, but is it going to be enough when now she's the only one here? These are all the alliances. Ellie wins reward. She gets a loved one visit for 24 hours. Ooh, okay. So Sierra wins immunity here. So she doesn't even have to work that social game now. Now Sukjai's going to have to turn on each other. Derek and Jemaya bond slightly. Jemaya's injured but gets to stay in the game. So now this is going to be interesting. If those 4 stay together, I know this is not an official alliance, but these 4 have been seen voting together when they were still a tribe. If they can't vote Sierra, do they take out Derek, who's kind of been on the outs the entire time? I hope so, because then we got a really sick final 5. Derek gets the first vote. Jemaya gets the second vote. Derek. Let's go. Derek gets voted out 5-1. Everybody knows that this season is a great final 5 if they vote Derek out here. So, yeah, as we see, Jemaya was only voted for by Derek, and now we have a really interesting final 5. With that being said, now I think Sierra is in even more trouble because if she's not going to win out here, those four have shown that they're willing to work together. And although they don't have an official alliance, there's two duos here who are kind of willing to work together. Unless maybe one of them tries to pull in Sierra to take out the other duo first. Let's see what happens. I think that'd be a good move. But these two are technically in alliances with both of them. So I think that's why the four works. And then these two are in an alliance by themselves. So it's basically, this is just a deconstructed way of saying the four of them are in alliance together. Sierra wins reward. She takes Ellie. They win that car, which we've seen is not a car curse because Jam Jam did win a car before winning the season. Okay, so Sierra wins immunity again. She could potentially be going on an immunity run here. That would be incredibly interesting. But regardless, now the four are going to have to go after each other. This is going to be really interesting. And see, this is where... before I advance here, this is where Ellie's social game could really help them, right? She's bonded with Sierra a lot. If she can pull Sierra for the three girls to vote out one of the guys, that's going to be game-changing. And now Sierra and J. Maya are bonding strongly. So I give Ellie a lot of credit for being so good socially, but I have to give Sierra a lot of credit too. She is putting in a lot of work socially. She has the 2 immunity wins. Sierra has to be the favorite to win, but I think it's very obvious. And if she doesn't win an immunity, she probably goes home. Kyle's impressing the rest of the team. Ellie and Memphis bond slightly. Good job, Ellie. Still putting in that work right till the end. It has a lasting impact. Okay. So no idea where this vote's going to go. Let's see how this plays out. The first vote is for Memphis. Second vote, J. Maya. So 1-1. Next vote, Memphis. 2-1. And Memphis is voted out 4-1. So even Kyle turned on Memphis. Wow. Okay, so Memphis goes out 4-1 here. You have to think... Ellie and J. Maya had gotten Sierra on board. They were kind of have bonded before, so they probably just told Kyle, hey, Memphis is going home. You can vote with us or not. Kyle tries to get in their good books and make it seem like it's a conjoined effort so that they can hopefully still get Sierra out as a group, but who knows? Who knows at this point? This is a great Final Four. I'm really liking this season. And we have, a bunch of different duos, which is just basically to say these three are working together. Sierra wins immunity again. My goodness. She has gone on an incredible run. That's 3 immunities in a row. And, so how many do we have left? J. Maya is impressing the rest of the team. Okay, so Sierra's immune here. Does she go with the girls and take out Kyle? And then if Sierra's 1 immunity away from an incredibly dominant win. And just an incredible, from being an underdog, but then still being able to do this by winning immunities when it mattered. But when her tribe when she wasn't winning immunities, she was able to bond with them so that they didn't take her out. They left her to the end, and that was obviously a mistake. Okay, let's see this vote, though. First vote, Ellie. Uh-oh. Next vote, J. Maya. Okay, so did those two turn on each other? Okay, next vote, Kyle. Okay, this is really weird. So what's going on here? 1-1-1, and we only have 4 votes, so this last vote's going to decide it. Ellie, oh no! So Ellie goes out by a vote of 2-1-1. Wow. Okay, so what happened here? Sierra voted Kyle. Ellie and J. Maya voted for each other. And then Kyle ends up being the decider here. So kind of wondering what's going on here where the girls can't get anything together when they've worked together this whole time. But even if they want to go after each other, why is Sierra not being pulled in here? Because Sukjai just kind of turns on each other. These two decide Ellie's probably the biggest. So I assume these two are Ellie's the biggest threat to win the game out of the 3 of them. So they take her out. She votes for J. Maya, but she could have voted with Sierra for Kyle, who's also a big threat, and tied it up. So ultimately, Ellie makes a strategic error here. I guess she must have thought somebody would vote for J. Maya with her, but a strategic error on Ellie's part. Final closing on Ellie's game, an amazing social player, an elite social player. I thought fairly good strategically. She makes a strategic error here, so maybe the strategic game was her downfall. But I still would not say she's a bad strategic player, just made a strategic error. So this is our final 3. Kyle, J. Maya, and Sierra. So these two have the alliance, and if Sierra can't win here, they have to take her out. But can Sierra complete this amazing immunity run? Oh, she does it. Wow. Sierra wins 4 in a row, goes on an insane immunity run, and I mean, she has to win unanimously, right? She bonds with Jemaya slightly. I think Jemaya is the perfect person for her to take to the end, but I don't think it matters. Okay, she gets a vote. Yeah, she votes out Kyle, which makes sense. I think he was, again, at least what the jury saw, a bigger jury threat based on the game he played, but I think she smokes either of them. How can she not? Okay, Sierra voted for Kyle. Yep. Okay, so this is the vote. I mean, if Jemaya won, like, she'd be a fun winner, but like Sierra has to win here, right? Especially because she has a number of her allies on this jury as well. Finalists wait for the winner to be revealed. First vote Sierra, second vote Jemaya. Jemaya, oh my goodness, is this really going to happen? Sierra, so it's 2-2. Jemaya, Sierra. Okay, so it's 3-3. Sierra. Okay, so thank goodness, because I was about to freak out. Sierra wins the game, but what is this jury doing? Sierra literally won the last 4 challenges, and you can say, okay, I'm not a fan of that type of game. She had to win those challenges. Yes, but she also kept herself in the game the 2 rounds prior by using her social game. So she has everything there that you want. It's not her fault that she was on a tribe. Like, she was able to sustain a tribe also that decimated itself because she was strategically aligned. So she, in my mind, played all 3 aspects of the game. Derek votes for Jemaya. Ellie, Judd vote for Sierra. Kyle votes for Jemaya. Memphis votes for Jemaya. And RC and Venus vote for Sierra. So, yeah, ultimately a super close vote here. Wow. I didn't think it should be, but Ellie wins fan favorite. So I always crap on the fan favorite thing, but I absolutely think Ellie was a fan favorite in this season. Sierra, great winner. Here's our boot order. I forgot my winner pick went out first. So let's get over here and, okay, we can go through one more time and see. Okay, so Ellie was the most strategic. So then Venus, then Kevin Martin. So, yeah, I mean, I guess I agree, right? But I would view it very much as social as well. And then Venus and Kevin, we didn't get to see that too much, but makes sense. Okay, so let's go to our document here. Winner rankings. Where are we going to put Sierra? So it's either 1 or 2. Julia played a great social game, great strategic game, great challenge game from the top, right? She didn't really have to face adversity, and that is why I'm going to put Sierra above. And this might be controversial, and if it's controversial, let me know in the comments. We can always change it, or maybe we won't, but I'd like to hear the debate. The reason I'm putting her above is because she was in a place in that merge where she should have went home 2 episodes in a row, and she used her social game to stay there. She used her strategic game to stay in a tribe that continued to get decimated. Julia didn't have to make these moves because she was always in a position of power. Now, yes, you can say she did that on her own regard, but she also got some sort of luck by being put on a tribe that was more dominant. Sierra was not, and she still survived. So they're both great winners, but I have to give Sierra the edge here. And then in terms of my favorite season, I'm putting this number 2. Now, I was raving about this season the whole time. But still, Africa was so fun, and some of the things just with the game design in this game, I don't love how late we get the merge. And then the reality is, like, we could have had a funner season if Chiwigon had a bit more people. Ultimately, we get an incredible winner because of that, but it kind of took down the entertainment in my eyes a little bit. So this is our rankings of everything. Thank you for watching. I'm going to try to get back with Season 6 pretty quick here because I want to get a little bit more consistent with posting these.